am Dr. Swati. I'm one among the Ayurveda expert of infertility Zost. I'm here with you to share about infertility and how, with the help of Ayurveda, we can overcome the drastic issue of infertility. So every creature in the universe tries to keep up its progeny. So for this purpose, reproduction was created. Reproduction is one among the noblest power which the human has got. So how do we know that a couple is suffering from infertility as such? Infertility is defined as mainly inability to conceive in 1 or more years with unprotected regular coitus. So the factors classified mainly are leading into the disturbances in the reproduction as such. Anovulation, that is, a lady is not able to release her eggs regularly and timely, and anovulation accounts for about 20% of the infertility. And again, the primary infertility accounts for 20%, that is, a lady is unable to conceive even once. And the secondary infertility, where a lady has conceived once and not able to conceive for the second time, it accounts for 15%. And the tubal factor, which accounts for 15%, endometriosis, again a burning issue, it accounts for 10% of the infertility. So when we see it in Ayurveda, how do we know, or how do we categorize it, or how do we understand what factors do we need to avoid, or all these things are being said in Ayurveda very clearly. As such, all the female related gynecological disorders are classified in as such as Yoni Vyapat. So the etiological factors causing to all this disease are mainly classified into Mithya Ahara. So Mithya in the sense the faulty, Ahara in the sense our diet. So the faulty dietic regimen the lady follows, or as such we can say, talking about infertility, as the faulty regimen the couple follows. So what are the faulty regimens? Mainly, okay, we have got a question like, do you think infertility is on a rise these days? Yes, of course. In our OPD we see regularly, as maybe if we see 1 among the 10 patients are coming with a complaint of infertility. Yes, it is a rise on these days. And the most common cause of this infertility, we can confidently say it as a sedentary lifestyle, or maybe our faulty lifestyle habits as such, which is causing infertility. So okay, going back to the etiological factors. So the Mithya Ahara, which I was talking about, the faulty dietary habits, that is untimely food consumption. Maybe, you have your breakfast which is supposed to be had at 8 to 9, you have it at 11 o'clock, or you call it as brunch, or your lunch is which you must have in the afternoon is going to be at 4 p.m. and your dinner is supposed to be at midnight. So all these habits of food intake is going to cause a problem in your metabolic system as such. Mithya Ahara again will consider with the faulty dietary habits, incompatible food combinations. A very famous, or the very best example what I can give you is with the milk and a fish. They say milk fish combination must be avoided, or honey must not be heated, or if you are indulging in such dietary habits as such. The common example which I get right now is ice cream and maybe a hot gulab jamun as a dessert which we eat, which is exactly opposite in its nature. Or the guna virodha we say it, or guna viparita we say, which is exactly opposite. So these dietary habits which has to be avoided. And again, if we go with the ahara as such, the consumption of junk foods, we know the list of junk foods and we have to avoid them. Example, aerated drinks, bakery items mainly with the maida products as such, we have to avoid them and eat your food when you are hungry, and eat the seasonal food, and eat the food cooked which is properly, or have food which is cooked properly. These things has to be kept in mind. So when we see with the Akala, next point which we have to consider here is the Akala Vihara. So what is a Vihara? So how do we take up ourselves throughout the day, or what are our physical exemptions which we do follow here? So we are supposed to work in the daytime, rest in the night. So if this is going to be vice versa, like you sleep in the daytime, you work in the night, or maybe you wake up at around 10 o'clock in the morning and then go to do all your works. So this will also hamper your, mainly the biological clock. So your body itself is confused when it has to release such hormones, or when it has to do this work, when you yourself are not under this, like you're not following these things. So your body itself will be confused, and this will be bringing you more and more problems in the as such physiological process. So again, for all the for most of the female related diseases, we can say Ayurveda says there are 4 main important factors. We dealt about Mithya Ahara, we said about Mithya Vihara, and next it is the Bija Dushti, or there are some congenital problems as such which are unavoidable. And again, which we can say as the Purva Janma Krita. Purva Janma Krita we can understand as idiopathic, which is very less as 1% cause for infertility. So how do we take it? How do we deal infertility as such? Again, with the infertility, if we go, what factors we have to keep in mind? Mainly, if a couple is having regular intercourse and trying for pregnancy from past 1 year, and the factors which she has to see, whether she is having her okay, I've got one more question as such. Is there any natural food item which can boost the fertility? So considering the natural food item which can boost the fertility, yes, there are, like we say as it, considering it as a Jivaniya Dravyas, which is said as such in Ayurveda, which means mainly milk, rice. Rice is considered as good, milk is considered as good. Milk having at night times is considered very best. Rice, consuming rice in the afternoon hours is considered very best. Madhura Ahara as such, Madhura Ahara in the sense the food products having the Madhura Guna, or which is sweet in its taste as such, they are considered as good. Timely food intake, again it's considered best. When we see that a lady with the irregular cycles, maybe her duration or her her period is unpredictable, then we cannot assume her ovulation as such, or maybe ovulation prediction is difficult in such cases. So next, when we talk about infertility, so PCOD which I get immediately is polycystic ovarian disease, so which is again one of the burning issue of the current era. So what causes PCOD? Again, the first main cause of PCOD is the sedentary lifestyle. So sedentary lifestyle, lack of exercise, faulty food habits, and obesity. Obesity is again a burning issue right now. So again, when we go with the obesity, does obesity affect fertility? Yes, obesity will affect fertility as such. So how do obesity as such, they say, I got one more question as such. Is there any way to overcome infertility naturally? So to comment on this, we need to know what is the cause for your infertility as such. So if there is just a minor cause, I don't think there is anything called as minor cause again, but after knowing the cause of infertility, I can say that whether we can overcome naturally or no. And Samantha Gaurav, hi. Okay, where was I? I was talking about this PCOD as such and the obesity related issues. So increase in body weight, again how it will cause infertility as such. So obesity will be directly linked into impaired metabolism and impaired excessive source of estrogen as such. So again this will cause a problem in the metabolism as such. Doctors ask me to reduce weight and control my hormones to achieve conception. Can you help? Yes, this is the first and the foremost thing which we need to do. So the reducing weight, how to reduce weight? So what we have to do to reduce weight is naturally at home is what you have to do. So like we know that eat how much when you are hungry, like a morning breakfast, specify a time, wake up at approximately at 6 o'clock, freshen up, go for 1.5 hour of physical exercise. Either you go for a jog, go for a walk, go for a yoga, or go for a gym. Go for these things, and then after that go for your light breakfast. And in the breakfast, what to have for breakfast? I would not say to go for cornflakes as such. Better to go for a good breakfast as such, like maybe dosa, idli, chapati, rotis as such, poha, these kind of breakfast in the morning. And then regularly keep consuming water as required. Regularly keep consuming water. In the afternoon, go for a lunch with a little quantity of rice, with I would say to 1 to 2 spoons of rice and 2 rotis if required. With the normal dal sabji you can have. And in the evening, if required, go for a juice or a snack. Again, I would say that go for some fruits. Avoid completely fried items in the snacks. And night at around 7 to 8 o'clock, go for your dinner. And after dinner, you have to go to bed after 2 hours of dinner as such. So by this, what you can do is you can almost regularize your weight. And again, what we say is, if you eat, for example, if you eat 4 chapatis and if your stomach is getting filled with that, try having 3 chapatis. So keep a space, little empty space in your stomach. So again, this will help in reducing your weight. And regular exercise is a must. So how do we know that how much a person should exercise? So for example, we say that exercise until you start sweating. So you have to exercise until you start sweating. So keep exercising till then. So it will be very difficult to start exercising as such. So you choose your interest, whether you feel good with yoga, whether you feel good with the dancing, walking, or any outdoor games. Any one of these will help you a lot. So this was with the exercise. And again, to go with the hormones, so we say that stress will impair the regulation of hormones. So how to regulate or how to decrease your stress? So I remember a quote here. So what would happen if we said all was running in our mind day to day and with everyone, and we release our stress very soon? So this aspect, if we follow, it will be very, very good. And laughing is a very good stress buster. Keep laughing, keep smiling, and this will help you to reduce stress. Okay, I have a question here. If I have PCOS and I am doing IVF, are there any aspects of my IVF cycle that will be different due to my diagnosis of PCOS? Aspects of my any different due to the diagnosis? If I have PCOS and doing IVF, are there aspects of my IVF cycle that will be different? No, as such, I don't think there won't be any difference in the procedure of IVF as such. Again, they will be stimulating your ovaries to produce more eggs, and once they are fertilized, they will be injecting. As I think there won't be any different aspect in this. Yes. So the stress buster which I was talking about. So be stress free, and stress free will boost your hormones as such. So again, one more thing what I get here to talk is, trying to conceive is stressful, and stress will lead to hormone impairment. So can you see the problem here? Stress, conceiving is stressful, and stress will impair your fertility. So being stress free is a must, or we can write this stress free as first in your prescription as such. Okay, then going on to PCOD as such, and again there is a research, or many people will agree on this, decreasing your weight will almost reduce the symptom of PCOS as such. Once if you decrease 10% of your weight is decreased, then your PCOD symptoms are going to be lessened. This is one of the main factors you have to keep in your mind. So next, what I was talking about was the PCOD, irregular cycle, BMI, how to reduce your weight, what to eat, what not to eat, what to be avoided. Everything we have spoken already.